Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I'm doing my ADC presence tier list, so if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, and let's get into it. To begin with, there are a couple of things I want to address, and that is like center pairings. Of course, we have the likes of Tahm Kench, Karthus, Seraphine, Yasuo. I don't think we're going to see majority of these, but the likes of Nilah, which is another one of center strong pairings, and Tahm Kench will probably see some play. So let's get into it. To be with Senna herself as an AD carry, I believe we'll see some games. The static Shiv into IE or Navori build is quite popular. It definitely has the win rate to support being a viable build. Alongside that, there are some center players who are going towards the likes of Deft to come to mind, and so I do believe that that ADC center will see some games. Kog'Maw is a favourite of Hans Summers. Alongside the Braum pick, it can be quite lethal within laning phase. It's a strong pick, it has really good 2v2 potential, and overall, I believe we will see some Kog'Maw. Tahm Kench is for the center pairing, Nilah for center pairing, and the fact that we might just see some Nilah Taric. I don't think we'll see a lot of it. It tends to be very niche if it ever does come out, but Nilah will see some games, I believe. Varus, not in the greatest state at the moment, isn't too popular. His ult is still a really valuable tool. He can go the AP, the hybrid, AD, and lethality options. He has a good build variety, which can allow him to slot into those comps. However, most of them are just average, if weak. His poke build isn't performing too well. People will still probably play it though if they do need some sort of harass bot lane where you can go things like the Youmu's or Duskblade into a lethality centric build, picking up things like Edge of Night, Shrouders, possibly an Axiomark, Serpentine, stuff like this. Vayne is in a pretty good spot at the moment. The static Shiv Triforce build gives her Wave Clear and Durability, two of her weaknesses, which kind of gatekept her from competitive for a while. Overall, I still don't think we're going to see a huge amount of this champion. Tends to be pretty niche, tends to only be one trick super lit out and people who are very proficient at the champion. A lot of the times it also just doesn't work that well whenever it does get pulled out, so I think it will be pulled out in situations where they do need that kind of like aggressive single target damage who can deal with tanks and be pretty mobile within the map. Overall, I still just don't think we're going to see a huge rainbow, so I have left it with 0 to 10% presence mark. Ziggs is probably the strongest AP option in terms of what pros are willing to pick up. It probably sits around these two tiers. However, once again, I don't think we're going to see a huge amount of AP in the bot lane, so Ziggs will sit down here. It will very much only be played by the likes of a couple of Chinese teams. I think Weibo will probably play it the most, but past that, I don't see a huge amount of teams picking this champion up. Sivir is going to be in the 10 to 30% presence mark. Sivir has gained popularity with the Summonary Static Shiv Cleaver Duskblade build. I don't know if pros will play this variant of Sivir, but pros will still probably pick this champion. It can be a good hyper carry if you're looking for that kind of route, with the likes of Kai'Sa, Zeri, Xayah all being nerfed, being pretty strong like hyper carry options. Sivir will be stronger within the meta, definitely. She will have a better spot as being a hyper carry fullback. Aphelios is also another one, has been hit by nerfs as well. Ashe sees some play every so often. It will be a strong answer to Kallisto. I believe will be quite popular this tournament. Kallisto is really valuable at decreasing her damage output and her mobility. Overall, still don't think we're going to see a huge amount of this champion. Can struggle when not with a lot of income, because you want your spikes, you want your Kraken, you want your Triforce, you want your items after that to really enable the hyper carry. Of course, Ashe is still a good weak side option. You can use her util, her slows, her ultimate to like secure picks, so it can be quite valuable there. Caitlyn doesn't have the greatest pairings at the moment. Both Lux and Morgana are pretty mediocre as champions. Morgana especially being pretty bad at the moment. But we'll still probably see Caitlyn come out if the likes of Kallisto, Lucian, and Draven are banned as a lane bully option. I don't think we'll see a huge amount of Caitlyn, but definitely a lane bully option there. Caitlyn. Lucian is pretty good at the moment. He received a decent amount of buffs to kind of enable him to be brought back into the meta. You can now pair him with engage supports alongside the enchanters. But overall, if we do solution, it'll probably be with the likes of Nami and Milio. I don't believe we'll see him past that. So yeah, Draven is another good lane bully option. He will probably see the most play out of the three. I believe that people enjoy playing this champion as a really aggressive, high damage pick. You can get a lot of stacks in competitive if you're farming really well. Use that alongside the execute of the R, and you can really easily secure items. But you do want to be far ahead, so if you're a weaker team, and you oftentimes won't see this pick, as he's very much reliant on being really ahead of the tempo of the game. But we'll still probably see some of this champion. Tristana will probably see 1 or 2 games bot lane, and then the rest of it will come from ban rate on mid lane, which is why she's up here. That will be the main confusing one, I believe. So, I mean, I'll highlight it at the end. Aphelios received a decent amount of nerfs towards his turret, nerfs towards his healing, his gravitum slow duration. Overall, just going to put him down a bit. He's still going to be an option for competitive, though. People do like this champion, even when he is on the weaker side. So, yeah, that's why he's here. Zeri received nerfs towards her movement speed, static shiv nerfs, and I believe some more direct nerfs. But overall, champion will still probably see play alongside some enchanters, engage supports. Still a good hyper carry option if you're looking to for something to fall back on. Then Zeri will probably be what you pick. Ezreal, still a really safe ADC, does a lot of damage, loads of haste, allows him to Q really often, which amplifies his damage. Alongside this, you have the build with the Triforce, the Manamune, the Shrouders, the Ravenous Hydra, Frozen Heart, more. You have options there, make him really valuable as a pick. You can use this champion in most scenarios. If you want the util, then he's kind of there with the slows and the harass. If you want the damage, then he can also kind of provide that. He's also really safe in lane phase and can go with certain pairings like your Karma if you're looking for like a very poke heavy lane, but you can also pair him with engage and disengage if you're looking for like an Alistar or a Braum or something like a Rail. You can kind of pair him with these options as well. Kalista will be the first champion in the 50-70 mark. Kalista definitely gained a lot of popularity after her passive change, where her autos no longer do 90% of her damage but 100% of her damage. She has I believe she received some Q buffs and some E buffs at the same time. The Q buff was just like an AD ratio buff, and the E buff I believe was cooldown. So overall, quite nice changes towards Kalista since then. She has been gaining popularity and competitive, and will probably go into this tournament as the primary lane bully. She does, however, still lose to the likes of like Ashe and Draven, so these options can be played against her, which is why she's not in the tiers above. But like, there is a high chance she does get banned a decent amount, which is why she will sustain a high pick ban presence. And then Kai'Sa and Xayah, of course, both these champions have been nerfed, but they do have builds which can kind of get around these nerfs with like the CDR nerfs to Xayah. She still builds Navori, so you can go like Kraken Navori. You can even go Stormraze on Navori on this patch. And you can run things like BT, LDR, Shield Bow if you really need that shield. You can run PD. It is a really good item for Xayah. GA if you do, of course, want the stasis. For Kai'Sa's case, you can run like AP hybrid, AD hybrid. You can run the likes of Yomu. You can run Yomu's Duskblade. You can run Umbral. You can run Nash's. You can go full AP for like the harass, the poke. If you're looking for like a Ludens, if you're looking for Liandry's. Kai'Sa is just really flexible as a champion at the moment, which gives her a lot of power in draft. Of course, I generally don't think this champion is a 50-70 mark. She did get nerfed, and I do think it brings her down a tier, but pros perceive this champion as being really strong, so it'll pick up a lot of bans, and it'll pick up a decent amount of pick rate. It'll probably go in as the primary pick for this Worlds. You pair it alongside things like Rakan. Xayah, same case. You'll pair it alongside things like Rakan with like Engage. You can like stack up the feathers really easily. Kai'Sa's case, the same. You can pair her alongside Engage with like a lot of the Engage supports being better at the moment. The likes of Nautilus, Rail, Alistar, stuff like this all pair quite nicely with the Kai'Sa pick. which can give her a lot of power in draft. For the ones I haven't put in, Jinx is in a really weak slot at the moment, and I don't believe we'll see any Jinx. There is a chance, maybe, that she sees one game, but I don't think it'll be a huge amount. There are lots of hyper carry options within the meta at the moment. Jhin is a util-focused marksman, and I think if you're going down the util route, you're probably picking something along the likes of Ashe and not Jhin. MF pros are allergic to this champion. It's really boring. Even if it's really strong, they won't pick it. Karthus, Unforgiven isn't here, so I mean, I don't think we're going to see any Karthus ADC. Samira, we might, there might be like one game with Samira where someone is just trying to, I mean, it'll be a Chinese player most likely. They do like the Samira pick. Seraphine, Twitch, Yasuo, I don't believe we'll see any play, but like Seraphine and Yasuo with like the center pairing can be there. And Twitch, I mean, he's just not very popular. Even if he tends to just be a solo queue only champ. So yeah, those are my thoughts. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next one. Goodbye.